We in the building. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Live here for week 3 of our beautiful college football season. It's your boys, Roddy, Sam, Sosa, Pay for Play week 3. Feels like week 4, but week 3 coming at you live on X or Twitter, whichever one you prefer, and YouTube. Please join up on either platform now because we can see your comments on X and we can see your comments on YouTube. Elon finally did something good in his life, so salute to you. But we got the fellas in the building. Start with Sam, brother. How you doing this bright early college football morning?
Feeling good. Bachelor lifestyle this weekend, so just gonna be nonstop football and drinking all weekend. So
There we go.
we're ready for it. Looking forward to early start. Don't have to sit around waiting all day. At least get a loss out of the way early if it does come to that. But not looking forward to this game today. Got me scared.
Ooh, and we're gonna get into it, my brother. Don't worry. Don't you worry. We're gonna get into it. All right, but we'll go to Sosa, brother. How you doing this fine early morning?
Oh man, I'm feeling fantastic. Ready to get some money. Fresh off watching Noah Fafita fuck off a lot of people's money on the timeline last night. Lord
Jesus
Jesus.
is Lord. We're gonna get
God.
right into it. We're gonna get
Yeah,
right
I'm
into
right at
week
it.
2 review. Look, I'm the same way. All right, I was gonna put out Arizona as an official play on the page, but I'm like, nah. Let me wait. Let me chill out. I'll take it personally. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to waste anybody else's money because I just feel like it's very early in the season for them. It's only week 2. Well, it's technically week 3 for them, but I mean, like our guy Top Shelf said, Sosa told us, shout out to Top Shelf. These guys struggled with Northern Arizona last week. So, I mean, you saw the result of what happened yesterday and the result of them just losing a lot of production from last year. Obviously, T Mac did what he did, another 100-yard game, but I mean, that's it. That's all you got to show for it. Fafita is just not a good quarterback. The team is incredibly undisciplined. I think they had 100 yards worth of penalties in that game, and I think Kansas State only had like 2 or 3. So it's just terrible. I wouldn't look for anything to bet on Arizona wise, other than T Mac getting his yards because they literally spam the hell out of him. And shout out to Coach B for telling me. He warned me, and I didn't listen to him. So that's the last time I go against Coach B. He's the West Coast legend. So shout out to him. But we'll start the show today with our week 2 review. We got 2 big topics. We'll start with the Colorado Buffaloes, who we had some faith of them maybe coming in the back door last week. We didn't think they were going to go on the road to Nebraska, even after last year where they had a great performance. But let's be honest, the quarterback for Nebraska last year fucked off the game. Like, let's just be 100% transparent. And when Nebraska got a real quarterback, it's looking a little different. So we'll go with Sosa first. Is it over? Just be real with me, brother. Is it over?
Listen, man, yes. To be simple, to be honest with you, it's over with. Season's over. Listen, I think, obviously we had a couple of words before the show started. Like, it's becoming more and more clear that you simply cannot build the trenches fundamentally from the transfer portal. If you
Mm-hmm.
cannot, you have to be able to recruit high school first and lay the foundation. It's just like in the NFL. You can't build an NFL team with free agents.
Nope.
And like there has to be core components of the program of the team there, and then you build off of that. And listen, I love Dion. The whole we make a lot of money. We're going to get talent in the building. We're going to get some NFL talent in the building. That's wonderful, and that's great for the program for building something. But again, I think that the lofty expectations that were placed on him by me and a slew of other people are coming to fruition. That it's just simply unrealistic to believe that they are a competitive program or a program that can compete for anything bigger than the Idaho Potato Bowl. No disrespect, but the game is the game. Like our expectations and our beliefs in Deion Sanders have landed us in a position to where we look like complete clowns with egg on our face, and there's really nothing we can do about it. We look like some fucking fanboys. We look like some uneducated people in regards to college recruiting. That's what we look like, and I'm saying that from my personal standpoint, because you want to believe in Deion. You like what he's building. You like the idea of what he's building. Everything he's doing from a upstanding standpoint is great, but they can't recruit high school yet, and getting 1 5-star to commit on Skip Bayless's TV show ain't enough, and that's the reality of it. And
the show that got canceled, by the way.
And I came up, I in this situation with Deion, I look like nothing but a fan. I don't look like I'm educated on college football. I don't look like I'm educated on college football recruiting. I just look like a fucking fan. And a lot of us do. We just got to admit that and move forward.
Hey, that's transparency.
And that's my thoughts after the Nebraska game.
Yeah, I feel you, Sam. Sam, I mean, look, I was trying to hate watch Dylan Raiola after, of course, what he did to us. But I mean, he can cosplay Peyton Manning. He can cosplay Tom Brady. He can cosplay Patrick Mahomes. If he throwing that football like that, oh wait, that boy good.
When I seen him throw that ball.
When I see him throw that ball. Sam, how'd you feel about Colorado in their whooping that they took in Lincoln?
I mean, I've been high on Deion. I think he has the potential to be a great college football coach. I have taken the approach more so of tempered expectations, where you need to look at it as a program. He comes into a Colorado program that had one win whenever he came in, brings in a lot more talent into the building and builds on it. I mean, last year it didn't pop off the way everyone thought it would, but they still improved. And I think they can still improve as a program, but the expectations have been set way too high. And I think people just need to reassess that. And if they do get to a bowl game, it still shows improvement. Like, sure, I mean, you have a good quarterback. You have Travis Hunter, one of the best two-way athletes we've seen in college football in a long time. And I mean, those players are nice, but like Sosa said, you can't just expect the talent in the trenches to be able to compete with some of these programs who have been doing it for a long time. Like the corn-fed Husker boys those are just different animals in the trenches. So, I mean, if you can't line up and fight in the trenches and compete in the trenches, you're not going to go very far, and you're not going to be this top upper echelon team. And I think he'll reassess going forward. But you can't, like so said, can't build through the transfer portal. You're going to have to supplement. Like if a guy like that former 5-star jumps in the portal, sure, he'll probably get him in the building or get him a look. But going forward, you gotta get more serious about the high school recruiting. Like, I think whether they only signed like 10 players maybe in high school last year. So, I mean, you can't do that. You gotta build some sustainability. It's the only way to do it. Sure, some of these kids can leave, but if you bring in 25 guys and 4 of them leave in a class, you still are building that depth, and you got to have that going forward if you want to build a sustainable program.
Yeah,
we expected a Bentley. We got the Chrysler 300. And then look, and right now, Shedeur and Travis Hunter look like the 2 Ferraris parked on O Block.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's going on. They're going to have great. I think they'll both have great successful NFL careers. It shows you that. Listen, having a couple NFL guys and trying to throw a roster together with players that have talent without understanding of system, understanding of scheme, being able to isolate players on the other side to make advantages for yourself. A little tough, man.
Yeah, and I agree.
Also, what Top Shelf just said, he's right. You know why? Because unless they get a 5-star quarterback in there, they're not going to be even okay. They're going to be bad again. And again, I look like a fanboy in regards to the Deion situation. I can own that. At the end of the day, I can just say I was cheering for a black man that I wanted to be, very successful. And I think, and again, like Sam said, it's not like the jury's out on him, like he can't be a good coach, but it's he's not Nick Saban. I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm gonna just leave it right. That's all I got.
I think Shedeur can be a great NFL quarterback, but he's got to chill with the offensive line comments. Like if he pulls that shit in the NFL, they're gonna get him killed.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Like a lot of the prospect of him going to the next level, more Shedeur than Travis, is the off the field stuff. Like even before the game, he goes up to the coin toss and he's shaking dudes' hands and he's saying, "We finna roll y'all." And look what happened. Like, so you've been complaining about your personnel all off season and then part of, training camp and part of during the season. And you're talking shit to a program who, did struggle a little bit last year, but has built the continuity that both of you were talking about. And you saw the results of it. They whooped their ass. So nobody skips the line. I think that's the overhanging point of what we're all trying to say. No one skips the line. And like Top Shelf said, I mean, if Dion, you see Dion in all these commercials, these DirecTV commercials, these Aflac commercials with Coach Saban, and it's fun and it's cool and it's great for the brand. But you got to get in the trenches to get the trenches. You got to go to these high schools. You got to go to these kids' living rooms. And I really don't know if he's going to, put in that legwork ever because he's such a big brand. So that's the only thing I think that's blocking his success. And that's the reason why he's not getting these kids from the high school straight up. It's just he has such a big brand that it might be preventing him from doing what these other coaches are doing, which is as soon as the season ends, they're on a plane. They're going to these schools. They're going to these living rooms. They're talking with these kids. They're trying to get them in the building. So we'll see what happens with them.
Also, you're trying to get high school kids to go to fucking Boulder, Colorado. Like he's competing against the Georgias, Miami's, Florida's, LSU's, Texas, like
Nebraska's.
Yeah, but it's hard to get a kid to go to fucking Boulder whenever it's snowing at your spring game.
Yeah, but you know what? Also, again, it's that the state of which the program was in, we completely neglected to give a fuck about it because it was Dion. Dion. He's a miracle worker. He can do this, and it's like, no, the fuck he cannot. It's that's what it is, bro. And I'm gonna tell you that's I have to own that, bro. It's just if he decides to stay at Colorado for an extended period of time, I think he can build it. But based on what you see right now, they're gonna be bad this year and they're gonna be bad next year, without question.
Yeah, I agree. So
maybe fringe bowl team, maybe.
Yeah, but even then, with the conference realignment, the other, it's going to be tough. But salute to them. We'll see what happens with them for the rest of the year. But Sosa, the floor is yours, brother. You know why the people are here. Let's just get into it. Let's get it over with. Get it out the way.
Listen, first and foremost, imagine that you're a coach at a predominantly white institution. You're a black head coach, and you lose to Marshall and Northern Illinois, both coached by black coaches. You paid them to lose. You paid them for you to lose to both of those teams in back-to-back years. Now, listen, those are two of the top 10 worst losses in program history.
Easily.
In the history of the program, he's got two of the worst losses. And I love Marcus Freeman, but this is a bad look. It's a bad look. And I'm going to say it real quick. Riley Leonard fucking sucks. He's not even average. He stinks. And I think we just need to call it what it is, bro. He's not good. He's not good. He can't push it vertically. He's not super athletic. He can't make any plays. And then he gave them the game. That interception that he threw was absolutely inexcusable. You watch the game against Texas A&M. It's the same scenario. The game's kind of close. Isolate receivers on the outside. Use your legs when you have to. This jackass throws a underthrown pass to the middle of the field to a backup receiver while he's up a point and the defense serving shit. What are you doing? He unforgivable in my book. I hope he gets hurt. Fuck him. Season's over. That's where I'm at, bro. I'm sorry. Like, I'm like, I hate this kid. I hate him.
Look,
And
I feel you.
also, he wants to talk about Bible study being the reason why the team's close. It's a Catholic school. You're going against the Catholic Church. That in itself should have been a red flag to start. But that's all. I'm just. What are you doing,
Oh my
brother?
God. Look, and the thing with them too, and I'll let you go in a second, Sam. Just Riley got hurt last year, obviously, and we were very concerned with his injury because it looked pretty bad, but he wasn't as bad at Duke. I mean, maybe it was Elko, but Elko, in a new situation, I understand. We'll give him some time, but I mean, he looks like a completely different person, like a completely different person. That offense, it's struggling like very, very badly. And they've got some really, really difficult situations that they're probably going to have to get into later on in the season.
It's almost like Denbrock his offense looked way better with Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors, and Brian Thomas. Almost like having 2 first-round receivers and a top 5 pick is a good thing for your offense.
Hey, look, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. And look, the defense has been great, but you're on the field 300 minutes of the damn game, and if the offense can't do shit.
The defense hasn't just been great, bro. It's been the best defense in America through 2 weeks, bro. I'm not even joking with you. I'm not even joking. We've been the best defense in the country 2 weeks in, and Riley Leonard almost found a way to give it up to Texas A&M too. So I'm Niners.
I'm going to take the high road here because, as I recall, last week there was a lot of, boy, oh boy, am I glad that Marcus Freeman is my head coach last week. There was a lot of that talk. And you know what? I've learned that ever since this Brian Kelly, Marcus Freeman situation has happened, every time a fan base talks shit about the other team, they go and lose the next fucking week. Because it happened last year, or it happened with Florida State, and then y'all lose to Marshall. we lose to USC. I hear shit all week because I work with a ton of Notre Dame people, and then I think my mush is so strong, it is as strong as ever. I haven't bet Notre Dame in 3 years, and I bet them last week, and they lose outright to Northern Illinois. It might be me.
Your fault. It's your.
I'm the problem. It's me.
No, I know.
Look within, Sam. Look within.
But if it's Notre Dame, and I have no ill will against Sosa because he's been one of the coolest Notre Dame fans towards me during this entire situation. He hasn't really talked shit outside of last week a little bit, but so I'm not gonna rub it in or anything. But the ones that do rub it in and still wear Brian Kelly Trader shirts around the office and come up and see me whenever they're in it,
that's not dress code.
You know what? You deserve it.
It's not dress code. Well, I mean, we'll see what happens with Notre Dame. In this 12-team playoff era, it's not out of the realm of possibility, but they do have to go to Southern California later on in the season, and
gotta go to West Lafayette today.
Yeah,
in the words of Ed Lover, pack it the fuck up.
I mean, I'm just saying, there's a chance, maybe, possibly, but no conference championship either. Yeah. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and get into the slate now. Again, it's another week where, what I'm saying, I'm looking at the slate, and I'm like, but regardless, guess what, ladies and gentlemen?
I'm thankful.
Now, we'll start with Boston College going to Missouri. Boston College, the Wonder Kids, beating Florida State. They're 2-0, feeling great. Everything's going well. And now they're going on the road at a noon game, or, well, I guess 12:45 game, to an SEC opponent who Mizzou quietly has looked very, very good. Okay. Now, over the last 3 years, I've been a big Mizzou fan, and I've been a big respecter of Mizzou just because every time Georgia, goes to Mizzou, we struggle. All right. We all saw that miracle we pulled off 3 years ago when we were definitely supposed to fucking lose that game. And God himself came down and blessed us. All right. So they're going into this game really hyped up. The defense is playing amazing. I'll start with you, Sam. Can Boston College beat Mizzou?
No.
It's a 14.5-point spread. So obviously the books don't think they can.
Yeah,
but
no, they can't.
is there
I
a
think
chance?
no, they're being overvalued after beating a bad Florida State team. Like they dominated that game, but this is a different class of competition this year. I do really like Missouri. I don't like the way some of their fans talk about how like they're in the upper echelon of the SEC when they really haven't done anything. So like cool it a little bit, like know your role. But I do like them as a program. You know, like they're heading in the right direction. They're building on a lot. They got Cook. They got Luther. I think Luther is, like we were talking before the show, Luther is the best receiver in the country. He's going to be the number one receiver taken in the draft next year. He's incredible. So I don't think that Boston College can hang with them. I think Missouri's the stadium's going to be rocking. Like it's a top 25 matchup. They're going to treat it as such. Yeah, give me Missouri. I have them as an official play minus 14.5. I think they're going to roll in this one.
Yeah, I agree. Sosa, do you give Boston College a chance? Maybe, possibly.
Luther, come on,
Never too
man.
much. Never too much. Never too
Yeah,
much.
man, you feel me? You feel me? I don't know. He just knew what he was. He just knew how to put them Johns together, man. Rest in peace to the GOAT. Man, Luther Burton is the one, man. He one of them ones. Y'all already know who I said he reminds me of. We're not gonna say that on camera.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all know who he reminds me of. He really does. He really is an outstanding prospect and player. I think this Missouri team, they've always actually been able to recruit pretty good defensively. I think now what they have now is they do have some level of balance on both sides of the ball, and obviously we're looking to see a little bit more from this team as the season goes on. I like Boston College. I like O'Brien as a head coach in college. I think he's going to be pretty good there. I like Castellanos. I think he's a good, nice young electric guy. But Mizzou should beat the brakes off of them today. Like I don't. It's an early start. Mizzou's the more talented team. The game's in their house. It's already hard enough to go there and play. Team. They've competed very well with whomever is on the other side when playing at home. So I like them first half to cover. I think they come out here. Their defense is the better unit. Their offense is the better unit, and ultimately they have the best player on the field every time their offense marches out. So I really like BC for like first half, and I like them full game, but I don't think it'll be close. I think Mizzou's just a better, more talented team. The only way that this game can be competitive is if Boston College is able to turn over Mizzou, which is a possibility. I mean, but again, I personally I like Mizzou in this one for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going Mizzou also. I took it earlier in the week at 16.5. I don't give a damn. I think this is a 20+ point victory for Mizzou. The defense is playing amazing. And I think Mizzou is what people thought FSU was going to be. A team with a pretty good defense. The quarterback might have, not been amazing, but will do enough to win. They had, decent receivers. They obviously lost a lot of production from last year, but I mean, Luther, and I saw Eddie saying, he's only got 64 yards through 2 weeks. Don't you worry, my friend. Don't you worry. They are going to get him the football this week. Just slow your roll. I understand, you said your Belindikov bet is probably, going to lose because Arizona wants to spam T-Mac and he's going to probably get, 6 to 7 100-yard games. I get it. But Luther is the better receiver, in my opinion. He's an amazing route runner. Hands are fucking ridiculous.
And he got the zoom button. He got the zoom button.
Oh,
T-Mac don't got the zoom button, brother.
As soon as he gets the football, he's gone. So I got Mizzou minus 16.5. The line is at 14.5. So that's obviously the safer bet. And then I got Luther too. but I'll get to that later.
I'll add one thing. It was pointed out on a podcast earlier for me this week. Drink is a great cover head coach. Like, he is trying to cover these spreads. They were up 31-0 last week, and they were throwing the football under 2 minutes to go.
Salute to you.
Yes. You know what? We love that in head coach. Back Drink this week. They're going to put it on them.
There we go. So anything else on this game, fellas? Because this one is, in my opinion, this one is a foregone conclusion. Like, salute to you, Boston College, but like Sosa said earlier in the show, that Cinderella run ends today, this afternoon. So Alabama going on the road to Wisconsin, cheese country. Alabama has been having the weirdest non-conference schedule for the last 2 years. It's just weird. Okay. They have Wisconsin, they're going to Wisconsin, which is just, it's just strange. But they come into this matchup a 16-point favorite. Last week, though, me and Sam were sitting there praying on a downfall. All right. I was watching that game. I, didn't pay attention to it much because, I was obviously thinking, okay, it's USF. We said here on the show that last year's game was really a wash. It was raining. We saw Nick Saban look like a wet dog. So, obviously that's going to turn around. Game. Yeah. And lo and behold, through really 3 and 3/4, 3 3/4,
3.5. USF had the ball with a chance to take the lead.
They did.
I mean,
now
under 7 minutes.
Now Alabama then went on to whoop their ass. All right, we get it. Like, okay, but it's concerning not only the offensive line, which this is our second year in a row talking about this offensive line, and then the defense. While I do understand they have a lot of youth, they lost a lot of production, like we've said on the past 2 shows. They just don't look like Alabama of old, and we don't expect them to, right? You lose the greatest coach ever. We don't expect you to look the same, but it's a little concerning for the back end of their schedule to, see how they fare. They're, getting a visit from us this year. It's going to be, an interesting game. I'm not going to talk shit. I'm just going to say it's going to be an interesting game. So, Sosa, we'll start with you. Alabama going to Wisconsin. Everybody thinks this one should also be a foregone conclusion. Do you feel the same, or do you think this could be a little competitive?
Alabama team total over 32.5. Listen, if Milroe was turning the ball over like hotcakes, I'd be concerned. It'd be an issue for me, bro. Listen, this kid all summer, he studied. You could just tell. And the thing is, it's a new system. The kid looks like he's in command. He knows every check. He looks like he knows what he's doing. He's operating the offense very, very well. And I think, like you said, it just took a little bit for it to click. Obviously, you would love for them to go out and just go, do what Tennessee's done early in the season, which just run out and just beat the shit out of them. I like the team total. I think Alabama goes in here and handles business. I think Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, I think those teams talent-wise, and Texas, from what I've seen, their talent bases are very high. And then the 2 other teams right outside of that would be Ole Miss and Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 are those 4, and then those 2, Tennessee and Ole Miss. So I think from a talent base, I think that you could be looking at these teams to really just score a lot of points and put some teams away relatively early.
Okay,
I like it. Sam, do you agree?
Yeah, I think Alabama rolls in this one. I watched last week very intently. Watched it very closely. That offensive line was one of the worst offensive line performances I've seen from Alabama since before Saban. I mean, it was abysmal. But Proctor is back this week. He's going to play. I think that shores up one side of the line. I think they can do some things to help that right tackle. I swear that right tackle, I don't know his name, but he had at least 4 holding penalties, and 2 of them were on touchdowns. So, I mean, I think more so like the offensive line stuff's going to figure itself out. I think they're going to be a little bit better this week. On top of that, I don't like Wisconsin trying to transition to the air raid. Um,
Yeah.
they haven't put up more than 30 points this year, and they've played Western Michigan and South Dakota. Um, this is a whole different level of athlete that they're going to be playing on the defensive side of the ball. I do like Kane Womack as a defensive coordinator. I liked him a lot whenever he was at Indiana. I followed his career because of that. Wanted him to come to LSU back in the day whenever he would, instead he took a head coaching job, but now he's back as a DC. I do like him a lot. Um, I think Alabama's going to roll in this one, just because I don't believe in Tyler Van Dyke's ability to make plays to keep them in the game. Like, sure, it's going to be a good environment. I think it would be way better to see this game at night. But of course, the worst thing in college football right now, big noon kickoff, has ruined that for us. Fucking hate big noon kickoff. Like, put games in prime time. Stop putting them at noon. So, yeah, I think the offensive line is going to be better, and I think the offense will look a little bit better for Alabama. Give me Tide 16.5. Not going to go back to first half this week.
Okay, I feel you. I'm in agreement with y'all as well. I think this is going to be a game, and Jalen's rush yards are 45.5. It's a little juiced at minus 120. I would like it. I think he's going to be able to get out of the pocket and scramble. Wisconsin's run defense is pretty bad. They kind of got gashed in their first 2 games of the season. So my official play, and I consulted with an article from our brother JD, who is writing for Covers. Please go check his stuff out. I got Justice Haynes over 55.5 rushing yards. I know Jam had a really big game last week, but I think they're going to split the load, pause, and then they're really going to be able to allow Jalen to open up the pass game a little bit more. I think we see a little bit more play action this week. Look, let's hope that Proctor shores up the line if you're an Alabama fan, because I'm telling you right now, like I said, later on into the season, if there's injuries, if there's this, if there's that, it might get scary. Okay, there's a young defense. While they have talent, I think we should be cautious on on the limitations that they have. So I know Ryan Williams is getting his first start this week as well, so it'll be interesting to see. I didn't want to bet on him just because I don't really know how involved he's going to be in the offense, but I think Alabama does beat them convincingly. I would lean on the spread as well, but I didn't take it personally because, like I said, last week scared me a little bit. So we'll see. But that's a foregone conclusion. Now we'll get into our more exciting games. Sam, we'll save the best for last. Our boy, Sunbelt Billy, fighting for his life once again at the crib. I rewatched this game at work, the Samford game that they played last week. Samford gashed them. The first or second play of the game, it was like a 12 to 13 yard gain. Offensive line just moving Florida's defensive line out the damn way. Okay, now you got a Texas A&M squad coming in, which, like I said, in one of our first shows, I like their offensive line. Don't think they're amazing or anything, but I think they can do enough to get guys like Le'Veon Moss over his 69.5 rush yard total, which I picked. That's an official play as well. So we'll start here with you, Sam. My one thing is, and you can go anywhere after I make this comment. We saw how DJ looked last week. Okay. DJ looked amazing. Best dual threat quarterback, in the country last year. In my opinion, I think he should be starting this football game. I know Graham might have passed concussion protocol. I understand, as a guy who has a head coach who, will play a guy who's less talented over a guy who's obviously should be the starter because of seniority. I understand that. But, I mean, you agree that DJ should be starting this game, and the likelihood of them winning this game would be way higher with him on the field than Graham, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, what the hell is Graham Mertz going to do for you going forward? Like, you saw Kirby in his first season take his lumps with a freshman quarterback. Granted, I mean, it didn't work out. Like, I think who was that again? Was it Beck? Or
No,
not
that
Beck?
was our guy, Jake
Eason.
Fromm, man. Or Jacob Eason, yeah. That was
Yeah,
Jacob
it
Eason,
was
yeah.
Eason, yeah.
Then
So,
Fromm
I
was
mean,
after him, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, at this point, you're not going where you want to
Eason
go.
was a red shirt though.
Yeah, he was, but
Red shirt, right?
yeah,
Lagway's a
he did.
true freshman, right?
Yeah, Lagway's the true freshman, yes.
Right. He's a little. That motherfucker's nice.
Yeah, I mean, why? What else do you have to look forward to if you're a Florida fan besides your future and hoping DJ Lagway stays after Billy Napier gets fired this year? Like, you have to be begging him to stay. So I mean, it makes absolutely no sense why Graham Mertz is starting. You have to look toward the future at this point. You're not going where you need to go. This is absolutely must win for Billy Napier. I think against actual Power 5 teams, they have a losing record in the swamp at home. But I don't think it's going to be improving this week. You know, I don't believe in a lot in Texas A&M, but I think their trenches are much better than Florida right now. And if you're going with Graham Mertz, I don't see it. I just don't see it. Peace out, Sunbelt Bill. I mean, RIP, rest in piss. But I want nothing good to happen to the Florida Gators. And A&M minus 2.5. Saw it earlier this morning. Dipped down below a field goal. I don't want to bet on either one of these teams, but I don't believe in Florida's trenches. And I think Texas A&M hung around with Notre Dame, one of the better defenses, if not the best defense in the country for a long time. I just don't see Florida improving with Graham Mertz at the helm.
100%. I agree. And, you know, again, I just watched that Samford game last week, and this is just an incredibly undisciplined football team, bro. Like,
fucking
just the
Samford, though, like all the
dumbest
hype,
penalties.
all the hype with DJ like having a good game last week. It's Samford.
It is Samford, but even in the performance where he was good, they could have beat them by 60, but they just had these dumb ass penalties, dumb ass false starts at home, like multiple false starts at home. That in my opinion, that's just bad coaching. Like, there's nothing else to say other than that is bad coaching. So I mean, maybe Billy sees something we don't see. I doubt it, but I just can't explain why DJ's not playing. He will play now. He will play and he will get in the game. But the whole reason I think they're doing this 2 quarterback system is to show why he deserves to play over Graham. Like, you wouldn't be doing the 2 quarterback system if you were totally confident in what Graham could do. Like, you're literally putting him in the game to appease him and make sure that he doesn't leave after the season. And trust me, DJ's got one of those football dads similar to DJU and all these other guys, Caleb Williams, where if Pops and Son is not happy with the situation, they will be out the door. And a lot of Florida fans were telling me this week, man, I'm scared because if Graham plays and if Graham gets consistent time and starts throughout the rest of the year, DJ's going to be out the door, bro. So, but we'll see. But this is just dumb to me. All right. This is just
Dion needs to start tampering with DJ.
Look, if he can get DJ, okay, now we talking. But Sosa, how do you feel about this game? I mean, look, A&M, not much to write off for, but I mean, Florida's they're just so uninspiring.
Yeah, I got absolutely nothing, bro. That's why I listen to y'all the whole time. Listen, DJ's a special athlete. For Billy Napier to even mention Graham Mertz's name after last week is a slap in the face, if you ask me. I don't even like. And I know people are going to bring up Sanford, but it's not just that. It's like the energy around the kid is different. You know what I mean? It's like you actually feel like you have a chance. You know, like and we all see this. We watch pro football. We watch college football. Watch it. Sometimes when you have a guy that can just do a couple little things and can do things and just has like a different energy to him, the team rallies around him. The players around him like him, right? You could be playing an inferior opponent, no doubt. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta let the kid go. No idea why Mertz is playing. Maybe it is a confidence thing. Maybe he's like, okay, man, we'll put Mertz out there, let him get fucked up a couple times, so you look like a superhero. Who knows? But that would be my only thought process in here. I don't believe in Napier. I think he's a bozo. But then I also heard that the starting quarterback for Texas A&M may not play. Something's wrong with him. I seen that earlier. Something's and he might. So he like it's like kind of like they kept it kind of quiet. But they have like a young quarterback who was on the roster last year, who may play. I don't know who may play sometime. I don't have like the full story or whatever. But I just seen it like come across my TV. Earlier this morning. So
McMurphy just tweeted 34 minutes ago, Texas A&M quarterback Connor Wegman remains questionable versus Florida. Expect freshman Marcel Reed to, quote, come in at some point. Which,
and he's a
too much. There's got to be some fucking legislation going on in the SEC. You can't be doing this shit. You got to have some kind of injury report.
Saturday morning, bro. I mean, Saturday morning. This is how they do you. This is how they do you. Because you're thinking, man, this is a Texas A&M spot easy. If Wegman plays and that defense shows up, you're like, okay, like Texas A&M should find a way to win the game. Now we don't know what we're getting from the other quarterbacks. This is what they do. This is how they do you.
Look, Le'Veon Moss.
Rising was going to play last year, bro.
Oh, look, don't get me started on that, man. He needs to become a Sons of Anarchy member. I'm so tired of him getting hurt. Le'Veon Moss, though, over 69.5 rushing yards. If we're seeing a freshman quarterback in the swamp, I got that, I week 1 talked about the lure of the swamp and it not being for real. All right. If we're seeing a freshman quarterback, they're going to rely on that run game. So Le'Veon Moss, 69.5, go get that before Connor Wegman either gets officially ruled out or they say that, they're going to be splitting time. Either way, this game has a lot of stuff in it where I'm like, I don't want no parts. So we'll see. Now, we've saved the best for last. And we talked about freshmen in our last segment. And Dylan Stewart, my God, that young man is special. That young man is special. You're going to see a lot of teams tanking next season in the NFL to get that dude on their defensive line. My God. But LSU is making – how long has it been, Sam? I can't remember an LSU at South Carolina game literally in my lifetime. Like, I can't remember at all. So they're
supposed to have one whenever the floods happened in Columbia, and they had to make a quick switch to have the game in Baton Rouge. So shout out Leonard Fournette, signed a jersey, auctioned it off for flood relief. It's a good guy.
Flood relief, yeah.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying. Anyway. So LSU is going to South Carolina. Obviously, like I said, not a matchup that's happened a lot. Nichols, what is it? Nichols State? Like, I don't know. They could be Bishop Sycamore for all I care. I know y'all have played them before, but Bishop Sycamore State, well, whoever they are.
Put some respect on Nichols. Thibodeau, shout out.
Anyway, Sam, they scored way too many damn points last week. That was my issue. They scored way too many damn points. I understand that, obviously Nuss had 6 TDs, so that's going to win out every single time. So I'll start with you, Sam, going into, as they call the cockpit. How are you feeling about your chances this week against the South Carolina defense that looked damn good last week?
I think our offense is just a little bit better than fucking Kentucky. Kentucky is dog water. They are so bad on offense. I think Dylan Stewart is a great young player. He's going up against some dogs, though. I mean, Emory Jones, Will Campbell, those guys are legit first-round picks. So I think it's strength on strength, the defense versus South Carolina's defense versus our offense. The vibes to me for this one feel like the Missouri game last year for LSU, where everyone is just so negative about where this team is going and the defense and everything, and like, where's Perkins? What's he doing? How are they going to use him? Why can't they figure him out? And they found a way to win that game. I think this is a game where who cares how it looks? Just find a way to win the fucking game. I don't care if you have to throw the ball 50 times. Stop running the ball into these 8-man boxes when you can't run the ball. You haven't proven you can run the ball. You have to. I mean, if you can find a way to do it against lighter boxes after dicing them up, sure, go for it. But like, this offensive line has to figure out how to run the ball. You can't be the best offensive line in the country. We said that last week. If you can't run the ball, they're great in pass pro, so I feel really good about that. Even if you have to start getting like some of the short passes, like get your athletes out in space. You got Aaron Anderson, Xavier Thomas, guys like that are great in space. And if you have to make that an extension of the run game, by all means do it. But just running straight up the middle is not working right now. I don't have any official plays on this one because I've just stopped betting spreads in LSU games because I can't take the double whammy of financially losing and emotionally losing. So only I looked through some props. Kyron Lacey over 82.5 passing yards feels very low still. He's a dog. He's going to be good all year. I think he gets over 100. He's your best receiver. You got to feed him the ball. But yeah, that's the way I look at it. I think the defense just makes enough plays under Baker, gives Sellers a few too many confusing looks, and they sneak out with a win. That's all that matters.
All right. I like that. So Sosa, you have anything on this game? Because this could be an interesting one. I think it'll probably be the best game of the day. I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll have some tomfoolery, I feel like.
Legacy game for Beamer. Huge game for Beamer. He win today. We're going to look at him a little different. He wins today, they'll be in the best situation they've been in since Spurrier was there. Just keep it honest. Let's be honest here. He wins this game today. We're going to start believing in Beamer and what he's building there. Unfortunately, they wear Under Armour, so I will never bet on them. So that's sorry, buddy. I'm a Nike guy. It's never happened, bro. Ever.
Hey, it's all right. I mean, Under Armour, they got Steph,
From
Dude, how's Dawn not gotten that shit turned over?
Look, Dawn is Nike down, Louis down. Shit, she would have got Louis to be their sponsor.
You know what it is though, is that Under Armour put a lot of money into South Carolina. And you're not gonna get me to say nothing bad about what they're building. They're like, listen, first and foremost, bro, there's no reason for Pat McAfee to be on my TV at 10:02 yelling, "We love cocks," while holding a chicken. However, he can somehow pull it off on ESPN every fucking week, man. Salute to that guy. I mean, every week he just pulls it out, bro. He just figures out a way to just be. He's just great. He's just great at the craft, bro. I love the guy. I can't lie.
That just shows you the state of ESPN. Salute to him. He built his own fan base, built his own brand, but Jesus is Lord. They're trying to get him. He's white Stephen A. I mean,
look at that. There's a bone that might be for a dog. So literally my dog's bone is on the floor back there. You see that?
Okay. All right. Look, and we're about to get into best bets really quickly. So it might be a little foreshadowing. So, but to finish this game, I don't have nothing, to be honest. Sam, you were talking about the rushing attack. Out of the 64 points y'all have scored this year, 0 of them came from a rushing touchdown. You're the only team in the SEC this year to not score a rushing touchdown, which is crazy to me. I think that should change this week. I mean, if you can't get your shit off against South Carolina, it's maybe a little bit understandable, but like you said, they have to get something in the run game, because if they are going to pass the ball 300 times, it's just not going to work later on in the season. I mean, you got Ole Miss, you got Bama, you got A&M. Might be a difficult game. So we'll see. But I don't have anything official in this game. I leaned on Sam to give us and bless us with this one. So, yeah, it is what it is. But probably the most interesting game of the day by far. All right. So we are going to get into our best bets, but please, 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 please comment. All right. We want to see your comments. We want to see what you guys are betting on this week. There's a lot of people in here. So I want to see what you guys are betting on. Give us some advice. Give us maybe something to think about. Who wants to go first? All right. Flip a coin. So Sam is heads. Sosa is tails. Flip a coin.
Bro, my team just lost to Northern Illinois. I think like
is this
I'm
sympathy?
I'm gonna play the sympathy card on this one.
Yeah, all right, let him go,
Yeah,
Sam. Let him go. Let him go.
I just try to go first to get the long list out of the way. So.
Oh no. See that because mine I got 5 plays, just posted them on Twitter. We're gonna go with Alabama's team total over 32.5. I think the number's low. I think that DeBoer has athletes. Jalen Milroe is going to be – at the end of the season, we're going to say no player took a bigger jump at his position than Jalen Milroe. I really, truly do believe that. I think that he's you hear him in interviews. You just saw – I don't know if you guys just saw – he just did the pivot with Ryan Clark and them. And, I mean, it gave me a little – it makes you – when you get to hear these kids speak a little bit – and talk and you get to learn a little bit more about what they bring to the table outside of just being looked at as a football player. And right. I believe in Jalen Milroe, and I think that this year it'll be very much like Jalen Hurts when he went to Oklahoma. I don't think the numbers will be quite there, but I think that he's dealing with a guy who understands quarterbacks and understands how to put players in position to be successful. He doesn't really ask people to do things they can't do, and I think that's the mark of a great coach. Putting your player in advantageous situations. He does that. DeBoer does that with Milroe, and I think that he's empowered him very much. I like Alabama to roll today. Mizzou minus 14.5. Obviously, Roddy said it's 16.5. He got it earlier in the week. Listen, Castellanos, it's been cute. Season's over today. Arkansas over 41.5 today. Their team total. Petrino. I mean, I don't really have to say much. I think we kind of know why I'm on that. Like they're playing an inferior opponent. When they're not playing the same level of athletes, they're going to run it up. That's what we're going to get as long as they have some level of stability at quarterback. I know the running back did get banged up last week. Interested to see how they adjust, but I think Arkansas will be just fine in the offensive backfield. And then we're gonna call up Lane again and say we're gonna need you to do it 3 weeks in a row. Lane Kiffin, Ole Miss over 42.5 team total for the game plus 100. You can probably get a depressed number at 39, at minus 140, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Ole Miss rolls, scores a bunch of points. Life's too short to huddle. My one player prop on the day. Listen, Shedeur Sanders, rivalry game. You're not going to get to playing too many of these. The house is going to be rocking. You're playing against Colorado State. You can't run the ball. I like Shedeur for 350 in the air, and I like him for 400. 350 is going to get you a plus 165. 400 to get you plus 430. Quarter unit on the 430, and that's what that's what we're rocking with today. 5 plays, 1 ladder, and we going crazy today.
There we go. We love it. And then Jay Norvell's delightful wife will be in the stands, I'm sure, for that Colorado State matchup. Sam, go ahead, brother.
Recap what we got already. Bama minus 16.5, Mizzou minus 15.5. I guess I'll stick with an official play, even though I'm being fucked by the injury report. A&M minus 2.5. Couple big favorites. I like Miami minus 36.5. Ball State local team here. Don't think they can hang. I think Miami's going to pour it on. Keep trying to build this Cam Ward hype train for the Heisman. Get him some points. I think they're rolling this one. Georgia minus 22.5. Might be a little bit of an overreaction, but I think Kentucky, I just said it, Kentucky's offense is dog shit. They are not good. Probably some extra motivation going up against a former teammate for Georgia's defense, make them look a little bad. I like the dogs in this one, even though it's on the road. Georgia minus 22.5. And then we got some dogs. Purdue plus 7.5. I don't know if my emotion is strong. I may just be on the opposite end of every Notre Dame game. So I'm going to keep trying to get this game, to get a Notre Dame game right. This spread was 16.5 last week before the NIU game. It has been hammered by the public, Notre Dame at +10 or at -10 all week, and it has only dropped to +7.5 now for Purdue. So I'm going to roll with Purdue. I think it's a close game. Until I see the offense really take off, I'm not going to really believe in them to get outside of one possession. Same kind of thought process with Colorado State. I'm on Colorado State +7.5. Don't believe in this offensive line or defense really for Colorado. We've talked about that. I don't think this one gets outside of one possession. We saw it last year after all the trash talk off the field and everything that led up to the game. It was a close back and forth game. Came down to double overtime, and I think Colorado State's going to be rocking. This is going to be a big rivalry game. I don't think it gets outside of one touchdown. Tulane +13.5 against Oklahoma. I think Tulane is feisty. I think I like the way Mensa was throwing the ball last week against Kansas State's defense, who made Fafita look really bad. I think Tulane is a feisty team. I think they're going to keep this one close, probably within 2 touchdowns. That's all we need to keep it in. And then don't really love the way Oregon's played so far this year. They needed 2 special teams touchdowns to beat Boise State at home last week. A rivalry game. I'm going to take +17.5 Oregon State. I don't love it, but I don't believe in Oregon yet. So
see, that I didn't give it as official, but I'm on the opposite side on that. I think this week is the week where, and Corvallis is very hard to pull up and win. It is.
Is it in Corvallis?
Yeah, the game's at Oregon State.
Yeah, yeah.
So and Corvallis is tough. My thing is this: Corvallis is such a difficult place to go and play that I think the line being 17.5 tells me that Oregon's going to come out and take their belts off tonight.
I see.
That's what I expect. I just think at some point it's got to click. It's just too much talent in the building, bro. It's just like at some point it's got to get rolling. You know what I'm saying? Or they might just not be that good.
Look, I'm praying on the latter, to be honest with you, because they stole Evan Stewart, and I don't think Dylan Gabriel's good. Anyway,
he won't be there 3 seasons if they don't win one. Although I don't know how big these Nike checks are. They're kind of crazy.
They got the biggest look. If their logo could be a Nike check,
regardless.
Oh yeah, he's gone. But I wanted him to come to Georgia, man. Come on, man. I've been a fan of his since his freshman year, so we'll see. All right, so I'll get into mine really quickly, and I'll save. I have a PSA, at the end, because I know as a Georgia fan, there's some things we have to address. Okay. Justice Haynes in the noon game, over 55.5 rushing yards. I think he's going to split the carries with Jam. I do not believe in the rush defense for the Wisconsin Badgers, so I'm taking him. Shout out to JD for giving me that look and insight. I totally give the credit to him. I'm not going to steal his pick. I definitely got that from him. So I'm going with Justice Haynes. I'm riding with him. Le'Veon Moss, over 69.5 rush yards. The quarterback situation, like Sosa said, for Texas A&M is a little, we don't know what the hell is going to happen. So I expect them to rely on the rush, game, regardless of who's playing this week, even if Connor's banged up. I got the under for Alabama and Wisconsin. It's at 48.5. I don't think Wisconsin scores that much points. I do not believe in Tyler Van Dyke. You all know I am his biggest hater. In the Mizzou game, I got them -16.5. I definitely would take a -14.5, which is what it's at now. I also have Luther Burton over 68.5 receiving yards. I understand that they're probably going to get their ass whooped, Boston College, but I think Luther has a big first half. He might cover this in the first half. Like, to be honest with you, the way DJ was able to have open receivers in that game, but not hit them, is the reason why I think they lost that game. Like, there were plenty of open receivers. They were either dropping the ball or DJ was just throwing it to Panama City Beach. So I got Luther over 68.5. I got the under in the LSU South Carolina game at 52 earlier in the week. I understand it's at 48 now. I would be a little skeptical of that, for right now. But if you can get a 52 somewhere, I doubt you can, but I got that. So maybe not official, but it is what it is.
13-2 over is in the last 15 LSU games.
Okay. All right. Look, maybe we go against history. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm like you with the Notre Dame. We going against history. We'll see.
If you're believing in Blake Baker, go by all means, go for it.
Look, maybe. You know what I'm saying? We'll see. I have the Texas Longhorns -22 for the first half. We saw the Texas State Bobcats absolutely rip UTSA to shreds. And then we saw them, if we weren't, contemplating about the career of Tua Tagovailoa all Thursday night, we would have saw an amazing game with the Texas State offense going up against Arizona State, which I don't think they're good, obviously. But if Texas State's offense was ripping UTSA to shreds, you can only imagine what the Longhorns are going to do coming off that win at Michigan. We definitely see Arch today as well. So we'll get into, how he looks. I know it's against inferior competition, but whatever. And then in Lexington,
sounds like his high school career.
Hey, look, I'm just saying, look, it's a reason why his uncle and his daddy anyway, we won't get into that right now. But listen, we might see the first college football game ever where a team plays no defensive backs in a game. Georgia is literally going to put 6 linebackers and 5 defensive linemen on the field, probably at all times, and triple dog dare Brock Vandagriff to throw the football. We double dog dare him to throw the football, okay? I have Kentucky. I don't have Kentucky scoring over 10 points, to be honest with you, all right? I got it earlier in the week at under 10.5. It's still at under 10. Their team total is still at 10.5. It's -120. I'm taking that under. I'm taking the dogs first half. That's at 13.5. And I'm taking Georgia for the full game with Sam at -22. And let me just say this, okay? The coach has brought in defensive driving people into the school. He's kicked kids off the team. He's taken their NIL money away. There is no way somebody can tell a young man, hey, you probably shouldn't be driving at 100 miles per hour with no registration, no insurance, or no tags on the car. Okay? Probably, you know what I'm saying? If a kid does that.
But you the one gave him the track hawk.
Look, he did. And he's trying to take the track hawk money away. But they still don't give a damn. They don't care. They're just stupid. All right.
The way y'all lie for this school is insane for me, bro. It's like it's insane.
Now the NIL collective,
get it.
The NIL collective, he said he's been finding the guys. He said he's been taking the money away. Now, do I have bank statements? No, I don't. I don't have bank statements. Okay, but at a point, Kirby is going to have to get control over this. I can't pass this off as an Athens issue. All right, because there were guys who were getting in trouble and getting arrested in the offseason and during the season when Mark Richt was here. Okay, so I totally understand. But at some point, we got to get this shit together, bro. Like, I know we're not going to need him this week, but later on in the season, you need to get a fucking head in the game. Okay, so I got Georgia. I'm all over Georgia. Like I said, I think they're going to dominate. But the bigger story, obviously, is the off the field issues that we've been having. So we'll see what happens with that. But we want to thank you guys today for tuning in. Over 1,000 people in total tuned in today. We appreciate the love and the support. Please follow us right here at Paid for Play. Please follow our guy Sam at Dumb Brain Picks. Please follow our guy Sosa at Sosapicks. We will be back next week, where the slate is going to be a little bit better, okay? And in 2 weeks, we got the monster slate. So we'll see what happens. And I'm going to either, again, be very depressed or I'm going to be very happy. So we'll see. Sam, you had some last words?
Deuces.
All right, y'all. See y'all later. Deuces. Or not.